Okay, so today I want to introduce you with some numbers in mathematics. Now, what you see here, it's called the number sets. The smaller group of it is called natural number. So what is natural number? Well, it's just a group of some numbers. And if you look at the example of natural numbers, we see this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So they are called natural numbers. Yeah. And the bigger group of natural number, it is whole number. Now the whole number basically it's just adding 0, right? So if you look at from the previous one, there is no 0. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 only, and so on. Yeah, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now with the whole numbers, we will start from 0. Okay. So natural numbers, whole numbers. Yes. Now the next one is called integers. So these numbers, integers, it will also include negative numbers. Okay. Well, actually,
so
you see,
is the border in both of them? Negative.
Well, what happened is actually from natural numbers to whole numbers. Now you will just include 0 for the whole numbers. Now from whole numbers to integers, yeah. So now you will include the negative numbers. That's why if you look at this diagram, the smallest set here is the natural numbers, and then the bigger one is the whole numbers because it includes one more, which is 0. Now the bigger set than natural numbers and whole numbers is integers because it includes negative numbers now. Of course, in mathematics, there are some other numbers. We call it, for example, rational numbers, or you know it as fraction, you know, 5/6, yeah. And then we have also so-called irrational number, which include square root of something, for example, square root 2, square root 3, and so on. Yeah. But let's not worry about these irrational numbers at the moment. Yeah. So I think at this time, what you need to know is, you know, natural numbers, yeah, because these are important, and then, you know, whole numbers, integers, yeah, because they are important. Okay. So now, when you want to visualize those numbers, yeah, especially integers, because these integers, yeah, includes the whole thing, you know, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, and the others. Now, when you want to represent real number, yeah, you can plot them on a number line. So this is called number line. Okay, number line. Now you know, with number line, we will put the values. For example, the middle here it's 0, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so on. Yes.
Yeah.
Now the left side of -0 is the negative value.
-2, -3, -4, -5.
Yes. Now this is actually a very important representation because, you know, when you learn about basic addition, for example, what is 4 plus 2? You 6. Can imagine, yeah, the answer is 6. So you can imagine that, for example, you have 4 apples or 4 circles, yeah, and then you have also 2 circles. Now you can add them and then you get 6 circles. But if you have for example something that includes negative number, yeah, so last time actually I show you one of them. For example, when you have okay, now if I give you this one first, 4 minus 2, this is also
2.
simple because the answer is if you have 4 circles and then you just take away.
Wait, the difference is the number in the front, because the difference between 6 and 2 is 4.
Okay, so now when you have 4 minus 2, this is also not difficult because in this case, if you have 4 circles, you can just take 2 of them so that at the end you have 2 circles, right? So that's the answer. But the problem comes from, you know, if you try to subtract, for example, 4 minus 5. This is actually a bit confusing because,
1.
yeah, of course, you know the answer now. Yeah, it's -1. But if you try to visualize from this illustration, you have 4 circles and then you take away 5 and then you see we only have 4. Now you want to take 5 of them. We can't use this kind of representation anymore. It's quite difficult, right? So the best way is actually if you have 4 minus 5 like before, yeah, this is, so if you have now a number line, yeah, this is actually very simple because 4 minus 5 is like you add now 4, you add with -5, yeah. So first in the number line like this, now you need to know the first number 4 here is just this one. So if you start from 0, for example, you go 4 unit to the right. So that is your first number, which is 4. Now what about the second one, -5? Okay, so with minus, what happens is you go to the left 5 units, yeah?
Yeah.
So in this case, there. And now when you try to add them, basically what you do is simply to put the -5. So you just continue the drawing basically, yeah? So basically that -5, now you try to move it here. Okay, so you try to draw the arrow of -5 and then you end up from this to there, which is showing you an arrow pointing to the left, and it has a 1 unit here, so this is -1. So you know the answer is 4 minus 5 is -1, right?
-1.
-1, yes. So you have learned about negative number at school. Yeah. Okay, good. Now let's try to do some operation, especially using negative numbers, yeah, because some students might get confused when they do some operation with negative numbers, okay? Now let us see the first one. What if I have -3 minus 8?
I don't know how to do that.
Yep.
But my guess is -5.
Okay. So how did you come up with that number, -5?
It's because if I had -3, that's already in the negatives. And this is a bigger number, so you minus it from -3.
Okay.
But that takes it down lower, so then I just jump back 3 like
okay. All right, thank you. So the answer is actually not -5. Now let me tell you why. Yeah. So if you look at again the number line that we have, yeah, and then let's say you put 0 somewhere here, okay, and then because we are doing these negative values, yeah, let's just focus
I got
with
it. -11.
Yes, actually that's the right answer. So how did you come up with that number?
I don't really know how I came up with it, but this is a way. So I had -3. This is a positive number. So like I thought I needed to add this, but in the negatives to -3, and 3 plus 8 is 11, and just add the negative sign back on.
Oh, okay, but actually we are dealing with negative numbers, so -3 is not positive number, it's a negative. So look at this now. Look, when you have -3 minus -8, this is like -3, and then you add with -8. Now, what is -3 here? That's this arrow. Okay. Now, what is -8? This is this arrow. So this is -3 and then -8. So you have two arrows pointing to the left, -3 and then -8. And then if you want to add them, you will have now longer arrow to the left, and the length of it, it's 11. But because it's going to the left, yeah, see?
It's negative.
It's negative. Yeah. So that's how you look at this question. -3 minus 8, it is -3 plus -8. Or when you look at the number line, yeah, you see actually what happened is you just add those arrows and then you get -11. Now, of course, every time, you see, this is just for the beginning, right? I mean, if you just learn about how to do the operation with negative numbers, yeah, maybe at this moment you'll need to draw number line and then see the numbers in it. But later on, when you already practice a lot of this question which involve negative numbers, you don't have to draw number line like this, okay? Yeah. Now let's try the second one. See, the answer here is -11. Yeah. So this is very important because I find many students, especially young students, when they learn about the operation with negative numbers, yeah, sometimes in the beginning they got confused. Now let's do the second one. Yes. What about this one? -2 plus 3.
-2, 1.
1. Very good. Very good. Next, yes. What about -7 plus 3?
-4.
-4. That's good. Now, what about -15 plus 8?
-7.
-7. So, you see, this is actually not difficult as you thought before, because if you have...
Because once you find out the rule, if it's minus, you add. If it's plus, you minus.
Okay, very good. Let me give you one more. Yeah. Hi. Minus 32 and then plus 48 and then minus 10.
Okay. 6.
6. Very good. 6. So how did you come up with that number? What did you do?
So I know plus. If it's plusing with a negative number, you have to minus it. That made 16. And then, since we're still dealing with the negative number at the front, that, wait, no. Oh wait, no, it was not dealing with this anymore. But it says minus 10. So I had to minus 10 from 16.
Okay.
And then make 6.
Yeah, very good. So this is just the examples using negative numbers, especially you do the addition, yes? Okay. Now, the next one will be hopefully not that confusing. So, okay. Now, you know when you have, for example, the example that I gave you before, 4 minus 2.
4 minus 2 is 2.
Is 2, yes? 5 minus 2?
3.
3, very good. Now, what about if I have now a subtraction, but it is with negative number?
One.
So how did you come up with the number 1?
Since this had brackets, I had to minus this first. So that made 3, and then I have to minus that 2 away from that, which makes 1.
No, actually, this is something that now you need to look at what happens, yeah? When you have negative, and then you subtract something by it. Okay. So remember the number line that we had before?
Yeah.
When you have plus 5, positive 5, yeah? What happens is you have 5 arrow, you have an arrow to the right, and the length of it, it's 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you have a negative 2, like this one, can you tell me the arrow that you will have?
Going to the left.
Going to the left. And what is the length of it?
2.
2. Okay, so this is your negative 2 arrow. Yeah. The negative simply pointing to the left. Yeah. So now what happens is you do this operation 5 minus negative 2. Yeah, if you look at what happened with this arrow when you do minus, yeah, what happens is you will have now the opposite arrow.
Okay.
So negative minus negative 2 will give you the opposite arrow, which is now, this is pointing to the right.
Yeah.
So what happens here is it's like you have now 5 and then you add with
7.
2, which gives you 7. So this is the way we visualize when you do subtraction which involve negative number. But in the practical way for you, yeah, when you see something like this minus and then there's a minus again, yeah, what happens is you can multiply these signs. So you see when you have minus times minus, you will have a plus.
Okay.
Have you learned about this before? No. Okay, so this is very important things. When you have minus and then another minus next to it, so basically you are multiplying them. Okay, so minus times minus give you plus. Okay, look, so okay, if you have plus times plus, for example, 2 times 3, what do we get?
2 times minus.
So if I have 2 positives here, for example, 2 times 3.
2 times 6.
2 times 3.
6.
6. It's a plus. It's a positive, yes?
Okay.
Now, if you have, for example, minus 2, you multiply it by minus 3.
You get negative 6.
No, what happens is like this. So first, when you multiply the numbers, 2 times 3, that gives you 6, right?
Yeah.
And then, like I told you before, now you have also here minus and then minus. Now when you multiply them, plus. So negative 2 times negative 3 give you plus 6. Yeah. So this is actually more advanced stuff. Yeah. When you have negative numbers and then you multiply with negative number. Okay. Now, what happens if you have, for example, minus 2 times plus 3? So what happens if you have negative and then you multiply it by a positive?
You get...
What do you think? What do we get? So plus times plus give you plus. Minus times minus give you plus. Yeah. Now what about minus times plus?
Plus.
Well, actually, it will give us minus. Yeah.
Negative 6.
So minus. Now, the last one will be what happens if you have a plus and then you multiply it with the minus. For example, you have 2 times minus 3. Negative 6. Very good. So these are simple multiplication rules. When you're dealing with negative numbers, especially, you will see this very often in the future. Yeah, minus times minus give you plus, plus times plus give you plus. Now when they are opposite signs, yeah, and you multiply them, so minus times plus, it gives you minus, or vice versa. Yeah, plus times minus give you minus. Okay. Now, if you look at this one, we have minus and then you have another minus and that will give you plus. So this is more practical for you because when you have, for example, 5 minus negative 2, therefore it will be 5 plus 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's see another question. Yeah. For example, I have 3 minus 4.
12.
No, this is not multiplication. This is just simple subtraction.
Oh, okay.
So what is 3 minus 4? 3 subtracted by minus 4.
Negative 1.
No, look at this, Remember when I told you when you have this minus and then minus? Yeah. And it gives us a plus, right?
7.
So yeah, so what happens is you will have something like this. See? This is 7.
Okay.
Yeah, right? So actually, just be careful. Maybe because you see this for the first time, and that's why you feel this is a bit confusing at the moment. Yeah, but I think when you have more and more practice, you will know how to deal with the subtraction which involve negative number. Now let me give you maybe 2 more, yeah? How about this one now? -5 minus -10.
5.
That's correct, very good. So how did you come up with the answer?
I remember that if a negative is minusing a negative, then you have to add the negative that came after the first negative. So you have -5.
Yes, -5.
And it needs 5 more to reach 0. So you take away 5 from this, but it still is 5 more. So you add that 5 once you get to 0.
Okay, that's good. So basically when you have also like this minus and then minus, it becomes plus, right?
Yeah.
Or in this case, you have now -5 plus 10, which give you 5, yeah? Now I'll give you the last one, yes? Okay, this is the last one, yes? -14 plus -2.
What does this minus mean?
Okay, so maybe this is the first time you see something like this, yeah? This is actually similar like what you have here. When you have this minus and then this minus, it becomes plus, right?
But what's minusing it?
So minusing it is like when you remember in the number line. Okay. Now, first, let's think about this -14. When you want to represent this -14 on the number line, how is the arrow for that?
For
-14.
-14. It goes that
to the left, yeah?
Left.
And then what is the length of this arrow?
Negative. With this one for this one.
The length, it's 14, yeah? But it's going to the left, that's why it's negative, yeah? Now, look at this. This is very important. So the -14 give you an arrow going to the left, right?
Yeah.
What happened is you put now a negative sign in front of it. So that means
plus,
it's the opposite. It's a positive. It's a positive. That's how you see it. So it's like you have now an opposite arrow going to the right. So you have 14. Okay? Now what about this one? You add with -2.
If you're adding a negative, then it's subtracting a negative.
Yes. No, it's just subtracting that number.
Then it's 12.
Yep. So plus times minus give you minus, remember? And then minus what? -2.
Yeah.
So 14 minus 2.
12.
12, yeah. Okay, I think I'll give you one more, just one last one, yeah.
Okay.
Right. Now I have minus 10 minus -4.
Okay.
$14. Well done. 14. Very good. Look, this is just basic operation which involve negative numbers, yeah, especially when you have subtraction now. And this is very important because, you know, when you want to learn algebra, and then we will deal with, instead of using numbers, we will use letters, yeah, like X, Y, and Z. Now, normally, when you deal with those letters, and then they involve also this kind of operation, yeah, you have to be familiar with how you deal with this sign. You know, for example, when you have minus times minus give you plus, or when you have plus times plus give you plus. Now when you have minus times plus give you minus, plus times minus give you minus. Okay, so these are some basic things that you need to learn first before we deal with, you know, more challenging things in algebra. Okay, yeah, so I think that's for today. Okay, and